We are now.
Oh, hi everyone. This is the Senshi anime girls,
You said
here.
Senshi.
I'm sorry.
Senshi.
Look at me. Look at me.
Sorry, go on. Go on.
I know.
It's all right. Go on. Retake 2.
Damn it. Senshi anime girls, right?
Yes, that's all right. You can say however you want. It's fine.
See, I never get it.
Okay, all good. All forgiven. All forgiven.
Okay.
Go on then. Go on. Try the introduction.
Hey everyone, it's the Senshi anime girls here. And we have our new podcast, and I am here with my lovely co-host Lita here, and we're going to be talking about conventions today. And as far as I know of, we have quite a few questions that we put out a tweet for you guys to ask us questions, and it looks like we have a couple of questions that we can answer. And Lita, I want you to say hi to all the people out there.
Oh yes. Hello, my lovely people. Everybody's been waiting anticipatingly for this, and we can't talk for crap today, it seems.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, for those who are new to our podcast, I believe this is podcast 10, isn't it?
Yeah, this is our 10th one. Yay! We finally hit double digits.
10.
Look at that.
Whoa.
We've hit double digits. Thank you guys for sticking around with us for 10 of these and our craziness that happens.
Oh, I know. We all love you. You're blessed, lovely people. So I am known as Lita on the interwebs, Lita Kino. You guys may know where that name comes from. I don't really feel like I have to say, but Jupiter, cough. So I'm a casual YouTuber, and I'm a blogger, and I do heaps of other things on the interwebs. And why don't you give us an introduction, Shay, as well?
Say, oh.
Yes, you. Yes, you have to say what you do and stuff.
My name is Shay, and I am a animated video games literally YouTuber and blogger. And that is what I do. I post YouTube videos every Wednesday and Saturday, and I post blog posts whenever I can.
All right. Yeah. So today, we got quite a few questions, even though I know that I tweeted out the question the tweet to you guys asking for any questions, and we got quite a overwhelming response. So half of them are probably ones that I had in mind we're going to discuss anyway. So I'm just going to flick through and we'll try and answer all of them. We will. So let's see. Right, maybe to start us off with, actually, first, Shay, I think I did actually tag you in the first convention tag, actually, video. I don't know if you even noticed that. It's when you talk about like your first convention. So we might as well start off by saying, what was the very first convention we ever actually went to? So that would be a good thing to get us starters off with. So why don't you tell? I'm curious, Shay. I don't even know what convention you actually
my first one.
Yeah, your first one.
My first convention was actually FanimeCon, the one that I did my first vlog on. That was my first convention. It was in 2013, so it was 4 years ago that I went. And I was 22 years old when I went to that convention. It was my very first one. And I had just graduated from college. And I went with a group of friends that I had made while in college on our the speech and debate team I was on. And we went. And I was like a kid in a candy store. My eyes were just wide, taking everything in. I was definitely, if you guys have seen my video where I talk about the 7 types of people you see at conventions, I was definitely the planner. I was the one that had that book out, planning what panels I want to go to, putting up time frames, like, oh, I could go to this one and make it to this one within 15 minutes. That was me at my first convention. I bought everything there that I could set my eyes on. And at the time, I was obsessed with Kuroko's basketball, and I wanted everything Kuroko's basketball. That was my first convention.
You still want everything Kuroko basketball? Because I'm not even watched Kuroko's No Basket yet.
You gotta watch it. And I wanted everything Sailor Moon too. That was
yeah. Well, we all know here by now your love of Sailor Moon.
Oh, yes.
I love Sailor Moon, but I think your love of Sailor Moon is greater than mine. I think
that might be possible.
Yes, definitely. You know what? We should just one of these days do a whole podcast dedicated to Sailor Moon. We'll see how many people actually come in and listen in. Well,
Sailor Moon trivia.
Oh, Sailor Moon trivia. That is an idea, like a trivia podcast. That would be interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that yet. I haven't. And hello to people in the chat. Hello, Jiro. Hello, Sakura. So my first convention, you guys are welcome to go watch my video that I did, I think, like a week ago, answering the first convention tag that I got tagged in. But I don't mind saying it again. So my first convention was in 2008. And it was here in Australia. I never attended a convention in the UK. I didn't even know those kind of things existed back then, honestly. And my love for anime wasn't as huge as it is now. And I actually attended a con. It's called, where I am, it's called AvCon. And it was held in the University of Adelaide. It was very small. It wasn't overly huge because the next year in 2009, they held it at a big convention center. They were making the massive move because this convention started at AvCon in like 2005, I believe. So from 2005 to 2008, it was held in the university. So it was really small. And I went, no, I said it wrong in the video, actually. I realized that I went with my best friend's sister. She actually wasn't with us. I think I got my memory jumbled up somewhere along the way. I actually went with a guy friend at the time and my best friend. It was the first time we actually all went to a convention. It was properly, but it was really, really small. It was held in sort of one of it's called the West Wing. Ooh, West Wing. And I mean, when we got there, I saw these people in costumes, and I was very, very early into watching anime then. I was. So I only knew so many animes. Like my friend had introduced me to, we'd watched the whole of Sailor Moon. Ooh. And I'd watched some, I just was binge watching Inuyasha with her at the time. So like I saw this really cute Rin cosplay, but I didn't know it was called cosplay then. I was just thinking, what are all these weirdos dressing up in freaking costumes for? That was what was going through my mind. I'm like, wow, they just take their love to the next level, don't they? I mean, like, who did I know I was going to end up being one of them? You don't know. And there was like a little area full of like, you know, all the, as we people know, the artist alley stuff. I didn't end up going to go see like a panel or anything then. There was like a little tea room sort of thing where people could go hang out. There was like a room where you could go watch some animes, like only one room. So it was really, really poxy small, but it was really nice. We spent the afternoon there, and most of the time we were talking to people from memory because it was so long ago. But I really got into talking to some of the people who like made their costume and stuff. And it really after then inspired me to just want to cosplay, dress up. So, yeah, that was my very first, to me, official convention. But my official big convention was the year after it was. But yeah, that was my official convention. It was. So yeah, it's a big, it was a very big deal to me afterwards. It was, and my friends had a really good time. They did. So yeah, it was really good.
That's awesome. For me, I definitely walked away from my first convention with everything. I remember my dad picking me up and he saw how much stuff I had bought and he was just like, "What did you buy?" And my suitcase was just full of plushies and other stuff. Like I remember at the time I had watched what was the show? It's not Cardcaptor Sakura. It was the other show with them in it, and I cannot remember the name of the show at the top of my head right now. But they had
Do you mean did it have Sharon and Sakura
yes,
in it? Oh,
yeah,
you mean so? Do you mean talking about Tsubasa Chronicles?
yes. Thank you. I knew it started with a T. I just couldn't remember the name off the top of my head. Subasa Chronicles, and they had the Mochanas, and they had the white Mochana, and the black one. And I remember I found the white one there at the convention, and I also found the black one. And I had to buy both because I was like, I can't buy the white one without buying the black one. They have to be together. So my thinking was, I'm going to buy both, and I bought both, and I'll never forget that. And I had so much fun at my first convention, and I was just like, I have to go to more of these. And the thing was, I had known about conventions. It wasn't like I had never known about anime conventions before I went. How I used to really do, I would go on YouTube and I would watch panels of my favorite voice actors that people would record at these conventions. And I remember I wanted to really go very badly to a convention that wasn't far from me at the time. And it was like during the summer. And I wanted to go, but I would have gone by myself. So I didn't go. And they had two of my favorite voice actors there, which was Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey were both there. And so later on, someone actually put their panels up on YouTube. So I watched them there. But at the time, I knew about conventions. I just didn't know who to go with because none of my friends were into it. So I was like, I don't want to go by myself.
Oh, I know, and yeah, I know that feeling. I'll leave answering that along the lines of a question that we got asked, but I think it's different for people. Like, personally, I like going like with at least like one person. Some people prefer going to conventions, on their own because they can just do whatever they want. I have a convention coming up actually next month. I'm still contemplating if I want to go or not, but things have changed like for me. Going like convention wise, like going and stuff. That's just a personal thing though. But it's just a everybody has their own different choice if they prefer going or they like going with other people. But what was the name of your convention again? The first one you went to, Shay?
It was Fanime.
It was Fanime.
Yes. I know there's quite a few other like anime YouTubers that I know went this year. We didn't actually end up being able to see each other, but they were also there as well.
Nice. All right. Well, we might as well get underway with answering some of these questions that we got asked, because quite a few. And I think the first one we will answer is from actually Sakura, who I know is listening to us right now. So Sakura asks, have you ever been to any awkward or bad panels?
Yes.
Well, all right. You can take us away on this one, Shay.
I went to it wasn't a bad panel, but I just wasn't very interested in it and ended up leaving. And I've gone to some awkward ones as well. When I went to my first convention, we went to a panel that was about, they read very bad fan fiction, but they read very bad fan fiction that had adult content in it. So that was kind of awkward to sit through, just because number one is really bad writing, and number two, the content that was involved. So that was awkward. But then the bad one I went to was actually a Sailor Moon panel. And it was about these two authors who wrote a book about Sailor Moon, but I guess because my friends and I kind of got there a little bit late, we were not interested in it at all. And me and my friend both really like Sailor Moon, so we both ended up leaving from the panel because it was boring. So we didn't enjoy it.
Oh wow, you
I
didn't
was so
enjoy
excited
Sailor Moon
too.
convention. You didn't enjoy a Sailor Moon panel. Wow.
No, I thought I was because it sounded so interesting, but then when we went, it was kind of, it fell flat. And I was like, "Oh, never mind."
I mean, I've only ever been to so many panels because the first few years, first two times I went. It was after the uni, my first convention. I didn't go to any panels. I didn't. I didn't really get interested until like probably the fourth time I went to the local con that I usually go to. But like there's 3 conventions that happen every year where I am. I've been to there's Comic-Con and there's one called Supernova. They're a lot more cultural. There's like comics, and then there's anime's like been a huge aspect in it now. I think as for like bad or awkward, one panel I was really excited for was actually when did it was actually happened last year, funnily enough. I did go to AvCon last year, and I was waiting to attend a panel. I went on my own because my friend went to a different one. It was about the anime industry. It was about like studios like PA Works and stuff. I'd never been to that type of panel before. And the people that were hosting it, people might be aware of. There's a YouTuber known as the Canapé Effect, and also the other YouTuber named Fighting for Nippon. They're both Australian anime YouTubers, and I've been following them for some time, and they were both doing a panel together, so I was kind of excited. And then it got there was just like a load of technical issues. So we're sitting there for like 15 minutes, or maybe like it was 20, and they just couldn't get it. They just couldn't get anything to work. So they said, "Oh, we're gonna reschedule it." We are, and they rescheduled it, and I arrived there and I heard them talking, and they weren't very enthusiastic. I was like standing in the door listening to them, and it really wasn't that overly enthusiastic how they were in the panel. So I was kind of bored and I left. It was about the anime industry and that, but they weren't even talking about that. They were talking about, I can't remember what anime it was they were talking about. They were talking about how bad it was or something. So that was the first 5 minutes. It only just started, and then I think they didn't bother. And then the panel didn't really end up happening.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that was a little bit of a disappointment. I honestly, overall, I've gone to some like good ones. I've gone to some good panels, which leads us into the next question that Sakura asks is, what are some creative panels you've seen at cons? So sorry, you can go first on this one, Shay.
Some creative panels that I've gone to. I think probably one of the most I think for me, one of the most interesting ones was a panel that actually had nothing to do with anime. If that sounds strange, I know, because I'm at an anime convention and I went to a panel that had nothing to do with anime. Basically, it was a round table reading what's the name of this book? When the aliens, it's about the radio show where the aliens come and take over, Orson G. Wells, when the aliens take over and invade Earth. Basically, it was all of these voice actors that were guests at that convention that all read that radio show. And it was very interesting to sit through because you're seeing these voice actors, you're hearing their voices, and they're basically reading through this story. And they're having different voices and everything else. So that to me was probably the most interesting one, because while it had nothing to do with anime, it was really cool to hear a story that I've heard several times read from voice actors, some of which I knew, some of which I did not know. But that was actually probably one of the coolest ones I went to. And basically any panel that I went to that involved a voice actor that I knew or that I really liked, and being able to sit through their panels. So like going to a video game panel that had, you know, Johnny Young Bosch, Travis Willingham, and Laura Bailey, or going to the Power Rangers panel that had some of the older Power Rangers there, as well as, you know, well, all the older Power Rangers that I really remembered as a kid. So those ones were probably the best. Yeah.
Was there any other good ones as well for you?
Any other good panels?
Yeah.
I went to a Pokemon panel. That was actually pretty cool because they talked about the manga. And at the time, I had never read the manga, the Pokemon manga at all. I still have not to this day actually read it, but now I want to read it. So that was fun to really go to. That was a lot of fun.
Well, that's nice. Cause I mean, like, I would overall any panel attending it, I would probably honestly prefer going to an American one, because there are not really some really overly well, when I attend AvCon in particular, it's this main anime convention I always go to every year. I have, except 1 year. I don't know, some of the ideas that when I look at the panel selection, I don't know, some of the ideas are always the same, like, you know, to do with cosplay. It's always how to learn about using what is it, Warbler. One is like cosplay trivia. Most of them aren't really overly interesting. I don't think some of them are. When I hear about, I've watched some like American like anime panels like online and stuff, and I just find them way more interesting. Like the one you're talking about, the Sailor Moon one. I mean, that sounded like interesting to me, and just nobody thinks that. For me, nobody. I feel like I've even looked at some of the panels for this year's AvCon, and again, they're not overly like that. They're just kind of generic. They're just kind of the same, you know. None of them are talking about like any anime studio, or some are talking about like the starter guide to getting your parents into anime, you know. Like it's not really
Interesting.
Yeah, some of the ideas here are very generic. This is just where I am. Like I've only been to like one other convention, which was sort of interstate. And some of the panels there were a lot more. The ideas were not so generic. They were kind of out there, outside the box. That's what I like when I attend a panel. It's a bit outside the box. One panel I went to was by a voice actor. It's not an anime voice actor. It's actually I love a voice actor called Greg Sipes. He's like most famously known for like in cartoon roles, particularly for like Teen Titans, playing Beast Boy, and in some other shows that I watched a lot when I was younger. So I attended his panel. It was like a Q&A sort of thing, but then afterwards we actually got to get up close with him, and he's very, very hippie, and he's very into his meditation. So he made us all sit around in a circle, and each of us got to ask him a question while we meditated. We got up right close to him, and like he hugged us and stuff. He was so cool, and we had like this hour-long like meditation Q&A kind of session. It was really interesting. It was.
That does sound interesting.
This was not last year, the year before. I went to Supernova, is where he was, and yeah, I went on my own, and I didn't even know what guests were there or anything. I just decided to go last minute. And then I saw he was having a panel, and I just got there in time, and it was a great way to start the day. It was that particular day. It was. So that was one of my favorite panels I've been to. It was kind of creative, because I've been to other voice actors panels and stuff, but he kind of took it up a notch. Like, let's sit in a circle, sit on cushions. It wasn't like that many overly people. It was probably like 20 people. He still had us all sit in a circle, and yeah, it was really good. It was like, it's one of my memorable panels that I've been to.
Oh, wow. So, yeah.
Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, I literally, because I still have my booklet from FanimeCon, And I was going through it and looking through all the different panels that they had this year and looking at some of the titles of some of these panels, which are quite interesting. So I was wondering if you wanted to hear a couple that maybe you might have found interesting. So they have one that says 5th gen isn't Pokemon. So basically we're discussing why the 5th generation does not deserve to be Pokemon, if that makes sense. They have sewing with knits, like learning how to sew for people who cosplay. They have how to teach yourself Japanese. They have how to untroll. So for those of people who are trollers, how to untroll. And then they had one for I didn't know was anime. They even have a lot of like 18 and up panels. So like to get into the panels, you have to be 18 and up. So they'll basically ID you at the door. So they have like, they have voice acting with hentai. No joke. These are some of the panels.
This is America we're talking about. We don't have any of that.
No, there's a few of them in here. There's a few of them there. And they have anime to see before you die. They have fan fiction roulette. That one was 16 and up. They had cosplay filmmaking. The one that I had talked about that I found was boring was the Sailor Moon's female fans panel. That was the one that I found boring when I went into it. Sorry, that was what it was. They have Poke Scanless, which is 16 and up panel. It's where they talked about
Poke Scanless. That's
it's like talked about banned episodes of Pokemon, rare comics, suggestive game lines that are in Pokemon, One Punch Man Q&A. They have so many different panels and they have it everywhere. So they have Yuri through the ages, Yaoi through the ages. They have a lot. There's a lot of different panels.
I know some people are going to that Yaoi con.
Yeah,
I know that happens near you. I'm like, oh my god, please let's just have Australia will never have anything like that here. I'm like, all the more reason to go to America. Off we go.
They have a lot.
Well, thank you for those questions, Sakura. Hope you enjoyed the answers.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. This might as well lead into another question since we're talking about, let's see. I got Jiro. Jiro's asked some questions. I know Jiro's here. He's asked like 4.
Oh wow, man, thank you.
We're gonna answer all 4.
You're like an MVP over here.
Maybe he's VIP. No, everybody's VIP.
Yes, everyone's
I didn't
VIP.
really stand for how many people are allowed to ask questions per person. Doesn't really matter.
Keep them coming.
Okay, so, yeah. Keep on coming. This is gonna be, I think, end up being more of a Q&A kind of thing anyway. So Jiro asks, one of the cons is con you would like to go to.
Con that I would like to go to.
Yes.
Oh, no doubt. Oh my, I would have to go to San Diego Comic-Con. That's like number 1. Like, oh my God, pie in the sky. Oh my goodness. Like, I tried to get tickets this year to San Diego Comic-Con, and it's not that I didn't get tickets. It's that I talked to one of my friends, and me and him both wanted to go to San Diego Comic-Con, but the price of San Diego Comic-Con tickets are ridiculous. Like, they are so expensive, and that's not even putting in.
Hold on. Okay, so they're really expensive. How much is it for like a whole weekend then?
It was like, let me good old Google.
Because I'll say for a whole weekend, like here, because it only goes to 3 days. Yeah, 3 days here. AvCon prices have gone up over the years. So have the other conventions that I've attended. I'm not sure how much it is actually this year. I believe it's I think it's around $65 for a whole weekend, but I'm thinking yours is probably going to be a lot more, Shay.
It depends. So it depends on the convention. When I went to Fanime, it was like 65 for the whole weekend, which really isn't bad considering that for Fanime, it's on a holiday weekend. So it's from Friday through Monday. So that's really not bad. But for Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, if you want to go every single day, you're looking at about over $200 to go the entire weekend. Now that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want to go just one of those days and it's anytime through Thursday through Saturday, you're looking at $60. But if you want to go Sunday, it's $40. So pretty much you're spending over $200 if you want to go the entire weekend. And that's not including if you want to do the preview night, which is $45 additional dollars. So that's a lot of money. And that's not including airfare or driving, gas. It's not including a hotel room. And not only that, but it's not even guaranteed that you'll get tickets because they sell out so fast. So you had to call into be online and logged into this room for you to be able to be randomly selected to be able to purchase tickets. And I was texting my friend and I texted him and I was like, hey, are you trying to get tickets for Comic-Con? And he was like, no, they're expensive, maybe next year. And so I was just like, all right, done. So I didn't even try because I was just like, I can't. I can't.
Wow. $200. I don't. It's definitely not that much here from memory. Wow.
Yeah. But it depends on the convention. That's just one instance. So San Diego Comic-Con has always been very expensive to attend, but it's always a convention that's very heavily like streamed on TV. It's streamed online. I mean, that's where they announce all like the Marvel movies, DC, like television shows. So it's very heavily also, celebrity intensive. But if you go to any other convention, like when I went to SAC Anime, it was also like $65 to go for the entire weekend, so that's not really that bad. But if you're trying to go to that convention, which is very like everyone's trying to go, then yeah, they're going to up them ticket prices.
Yeah. What was it for a day? How much is it to attend?
It depends on the day. So if you want to go Thursday, Friday, or a Saturday, it's $60 for one day. But if you want to go on a Sunday, it's $40 if you want to go. But that's the thing though, if you're ages 13 through 17, not 70, 17, you'll pay a lot cheaper of a price. So you'll pay like half of that. So if you want to go Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, you pay $30 compared to 60. And if you want to go on a Sunday, you pay $20 compared to 40. So hopefully if you're 13 through 17, you'll get a heck of a lot cheaper. But if you're an adult, you're shelling out some money.
Yeah. I want to be a kid again.
I do too.
Give me cheap.
Like, can I lie? Like, can I lie and let you say I'm like 17? Yeah. Like, by all means, please, I want to pay those ticket prices.
Because seriously, I can just go in a bottle-o and the guys will give me it cheap, which I've had in the past. I just wear pigtails, wear plaits, and I usually. But the downside is I usually get asked for my ID because I look young. Seriously, if I have pigtails and plaited pigtails in particular, I always get asked for my ID. It's so annoying. Every time I go in a bottle-o, it's like damn annoying. Oh, but like here for a day, I think for this year it's like $35 for a day, I believe.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That just shows, I guess, cheap. But we all know conventions, they are not cheap.
They are not cheap. I wish
no.
So cheap. They're not cheap. And then if you're someone who lives far away from that convention, you're also gotta put in like money for a hotel, money for food, money for, like gas if you have to drive there, or a plane ticket if you have to fly. I think the only other convention I really want to go to that I haven't gone to yet is Anime Expo, which is in Los Angeles. I have not gone to that.
Hello. That is not far away for you. It's like in what, 2 or 3 weeks?
It is, but it's like 6 hours away. So for
Oh,
me,
come
it's
on,
4 to 6 hours. So I
you can
don't
make the
live near
move.
LA.
You
I
can
can.
do
But the thing is, though, it's also always a holiday weekend. So they always jack up ticket prices for that. Not jack up ticket prices, but ticket prices for like hotels and stuff are a little bit higher during holiday weekends or before a weekend. I was going to go to, I think last year, I bought Anime Expo tickets last year, but I did not attend last year because my plans fell through with people was going to go with. But I bought my ticket super early. So like Anime Expo is in July. I think last year I bought my ticket in like September, right after I got back from SAC Anime, and the entire weekend was like $45. So it was super inexpensive because I bought my ticket super far in advance, but my plans fell through. But I wasn't that upset because I was only out $45. Not like $200
I
because
know,
I'd be
but
upset.
still, oh, I know how that feels to have your plans fallen through. Trust me. I mean, as in like
Yeah, so I
traveling.
didn't go.
Yeah, ugh, I do hate that. I'll admit that. But like, it doesn't take me long to get to the convention. For me, it takes like half an hour car drive because it's in the city. The only other time I've attended one was the interstate one. I went with my sister. We got on a plane and stuff, and that was interesting. That was my first time. It was the first time ever going anywhere together. It was, or anywhere in Australia. Honestly, I hadn't been anywhere else. I hadn't. So it was for a weekend. It was seriously, it was all last minute planning. Honestly, it was. I couldn't believe my parents actually said yes to us going because I really wanted to go. I mainly wanted to go because Lily Lawless from Xena, I'm a Xena fan, back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I lived for that show. I went there because she was attending the convention. I'd always wanted to meet her. I'd met the person who played Gabrielle before. That was really, really good. But yeah, I actually never got to meet her in the end because, oh my God, it was so busy. It was so busy. But as for like going to another con, I have so many because my desire to go out of state now and like overseas, it is grown a lot. So Anime Expo is definitely one I would love to attend sometime in the future. Would be great. Probably another one. Probably another one is New York Comic Con. I know that's a really, really big one. Honestly, any of the American ones, any of them, I probably would be really happy to attend, honestly. I would be really happy to. It doesn't take much to please me, honestly, because once I'm at a con, I just go in my crazy, frenzy self. I do. I'll tell you, like, saying like, oh, conventions are so expensive. I'm very, very picky now whenever I've gone to a con and how much I'll actually spend. I don't buy a lot of anime because we all know anime is just, overly priced.
Yes.
Yeah. I mostly end up spending a bit in the artist alley, all the like, cute keychains and artwork and stuff. I usually end up spending it there. So I'm kind of picky now.
I agree with you on that one. When I go to conventions, I don't really buy anime, really like DVDs or anything because of the fact I have so many subscription services for me to stream it that I don't buy it anymore. But one thing I have realized I do splurge a little bit more money on and will buy is manga, just because manga is a little bit not harder to find, but for me in my area, like select bookstores, comic book shops, I can find them at, but there's some manga that I really just want. So I realize I splurge more on that now than I do on like buying physical copies of anime. But like you, I tend to buy random stuff now that I think about it.
Yeah, I really
like it's never
random stuff. Like I never buy figures.
No, I don't buy figures.
I bought, what did I buy? I never bought, the first figure I ever bought from a convention was actually, honestly, not last year, the year before. I think, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year, actually. There was a cute Sailor Neptune. There was like a Sailor Neptune, a Sailor Uranus duo. They're both $30, and I think they were from a specific figure arts line they were, and I'm like, ooh, very, very tempting. I ended up just getting Sailor Neptune, and she happily sits on my desk now. So awesome. I don't regret that. She was originally $80. So I'm like, well,
oh, wow.
I can't. I used the last of my money then. I was like, oops, I don't really have any money for dinner now.
Oh,
So
for me, I also haven't bought figurines, but I'd lie. Actually, you know, I bought the Sailor Moon pop figurines when they came out with them. I collected all of them. So I do have those. I have the Sailor Moon pop figurines. I finally have all of them, including a double. So like I couldn't find Tuxedo Mask and I couldn't find of all of them, I couldn't find Jupiter. And was it Jupiter I couldn't find?
No.
Or was it Venus? It was one of them I couldn't find, so it took me a really long time, and I finally found it. And one of my friends actually was really nice enough and actually ordered it for me online and gave it to me. And that's how I finally got them all. And I ended up getting 2 of Tuxedo Mask. So one of them is still in the box, and one of them sits on my desk because I was just like, well,
it's best to have one of many. But one of many. This actually leads into another question Jira asked. He asked, best merch that you got at a con?
Best merch.
I've gotten loads of things.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of stuff. Now I think about it.
Let's see. I think I've gotten quite a few things. Okay, honestly, this is sad. Honestly, it was $50. Originally, it was $100. It was my Sailor Jupiter body pillow. Because I had nothing Sailor Jupiter. I had nothing Sailor Jupiter anything. And that was I think this was the third time my second convention. I just saw her and I just did not hesitate. Before I knew what I had done, I'm like, oopsie. But then, because that was the first thing I bought, and then I had to carry around with it, and then I had to carry around it with me for the rest of the entire day, which was not a good plan.
I know how that is.
That was probably that was probably one of my favorite buys. But I've bought in so many other things in the past. They've all got sentimental value to me.
Yeah. So, same. I've bought so much stuff. It's like hard for me to choose one, and it's also me trying to differentiate what I bought at a convention and what I bought on my own. I know that sounds strange because you think I would remember where I bought stuff. Because honestly, one of my favorite things I have of merchandise, I didn't actually buy at a convention. I know, shocking. Not saying that the stuff I've bought at a convention hasn't been near and dear to my heart. Some of the stuff that I actually have from conventions that I actually really enjoy and really love is stuff that people have bought for me. So like I have a Sailor Moon picture that one of my friends got for me at a convention that they went to. I have a couple of like necklaces and stuff that my friends have gotten me that were Sailor Moon related. And one of them was a Sailor Moon necklace I got that actually I got from a grab bag. So I didn't know what I was going to get in them. But one of my favorite pieces of merchandise that I have is actually something I bought and I pre-ordered. And this was when Sailor Moon, a whole bunch of Sailor Moon merchandise was like coming out left and right. And they came out with those proplicas. And I bought a Sailor Moon proplica of the scepter. I bought that. And that cost me a good $100 and something bucks. But I didn't get that at a convention.
Who doesn't want a scepter?
Right. Like, who doesn't want a scepter? So that's what I bought. And I never forget because I got it in the mail. It came with like a stand so I could put it up on my desk, and it's no longer up on my desk because I moved. And you could put batteries in it and it would like make noise. Like it was legit. Like I loved it. I still love that thing. And my mom was like, "What is that?" And I was just like, "It's a scepter." And she's just like, "Why?" And I was like, "Oh, it's from Sailor Moon." And she's like, "Okay, I get it." And then it like shouts out her phrases and it says them in like Japanese. And I'm like, oh, I love this. So that's probably my favorite piece of merchandise that I think I have. Oh, and I have I have a Sailor Moon throw blanket that I keep on my bed that I sleep with every night. And I've actually taken with me on vacation. And my mom got me that for my birthday when I went to SAC Anime for the first time.
Oh, so Shay has a nice blankie she takes everywhere with her. She's had since
I do have a blankie. Which is my favorite color, which makes it even better.
Blankie. It's all right. We all sleep. I still sleep with a stuffed toy.
Oh, I do too.
So yeah, I still
sleep with a stuffed toy. I have a little cat fluff thing that I have. I have a Sailor Moon plushie that I have. I even have a Sailor Venus one that one of my friends actually bought me when he went to Japan, and he brought me back a Sailor Venus plushie. And I have a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, my second favorite purchase is a Sailor Moon. No, not Sailor Moon. Sailor Jupiter plushie. Oh my God. I bought her at my second convention. She's very precious. She has a special place on my shelf, and I make sure she doesn't have lots of dust on her. I'm very, very conservative when it comes to collecting like figures or anything. I don't have like an overload of figures. I wouldn't say I'm like a big figure collector, but I would say I'm sad that I dust them like every 2 weeks. I just like give them a little dust because I hate them all covered in dust. I can't stand it. I'm a clean freak, people. I'm a clean freak. So I look after my shit. I like looking after my stuff. But yeah, so let's see. What was another question Jira asked? Oh, okay. Another one was, I know we've already answered best panel and worst panel. Worst anime convention experience. Well, everybody's got a bad one. Well, I'm not saying it should be bad, but then sometimes I don't mind. Yeah. What was a bad or like worst convention experience for you? It doesn't have to be the whole thing. It could just be a part of the day or a part of the weekend where it wasn't good.
Okay. I don't have a bad one. I have a scary one.
Oh, a scary one. Ooh.
Is that okay? Does that work?
Yeah,
I don't really have any like bad ones. I have a scary one.
Yeah,
This was last year when I went to SAC Anime for the second time. And I was at a Black Butler panel, which had Brina Palencia and J. Michael Tatum. So, of course, I had to go to that panel. And during the panel, before it actually started, there was a girl sitting in the second row. It's not the first row. She was in the second row. And she asked the question of the fact, she let the person know, she said, I'm letting you know I am prone to seizures. It is okay. Is it okay if I have someone here with me that can administer my medication just in case?
God.
Just let them know. And she said, she said, okay. During the panel, like the beginning of the panel, like maybe they're like 3 questions in, and I'm looking at this girl because I'm sitting behind her, but like to the side, like a couple rows back and to the side diagonal of her. And I just see her kind of slump. And I was like, ooh, Lord, no, I see what's going to happen. She did. It's not funny. I'm sorry.
I shouldn't even laugh.
I'm sorry. She's in slumps, and then she falls over to the floor and starts having a seizure.
Oh my God.
And the whole room just goes silent.
Holy
and
crap.
I felt bad for like the voice actors up there, J. Michael Sam and Brina Palencia. I felt bad for them because Brina was like, oh my God, what is happening? And then J. Michael Sam was like, oh, what? And then the girl's on the floor. She's having a seizure. I think her boyfriend was with her, and they were like, they knew what to do, so they were helping her. And then but then at one point, her boyfriend goes, does anyone have an oxygen mask? And I got confused later on thinking about it, like, who carries that with them at a convention? Unless you know something's wrong.
An oxygen mask, if you need.
From now on, I know to carry one with me. And so he asked that question, and then everyone was kind of like, what? And he's just like, they're like, she's not breathing. I was like, oh my Lord, this girl died at the convention. And then people started like moving chairs back so that we could give her air, or hopefully give her air. And I guess she starts breathing again. They get her mother to come in. They have us clear the room out. And they tell us before they clear the room out, they were like, hey, thank you guys, because everyone in the room was just dead silent. Like no one freaked out, like no one started running. We was just silent, like, and just letting them do what they need to do. And they were like, hey, you guys, thanks so much. And then they let us out, and then we all just stood around in the hallway. And then while we were in the hallway, I guess they were trying to call for security or medics to come get the girl. And I guess at that same time that the girl decided to, or ended up having a seizure, there was 2 other incidences where someone else was somewhere else in the convention. They had a heat stroke, and someone else fell out, and I was just like, everyone's dropping like flies at this convention.
Oh my God.
None of us is safe.
Seriously.
So that was probably it was scary, but then some people were like, yeah, they should have did something earlier. And they were like, she warned them. And I was like, yes, in my head, I'm like, yes, she did warn them, but no one knows when they're gonna have a seizure. She just let the girl know, hey, I'm prone to seizures. If it happens, I have people here.
God's sake.
But that was scary. I know how I'm telling it, it makes it sound comedic, but I didn't mean for it to sound funny. It's just how I'm telling the story. But my thought process when it happened was like, oh my God. And then they were like, oh, we'll reschedule the panel. They never actually rescheduled it. So I never actually got to see a panel with Brina Palencia or J. Michael Tatum. But my entire thoughts after that was just like, I really hope that girl is okay, because that has to be scary for like, not just her, but like her mom and all them involved, because she stopped breathing. And I'm sure that's scary to know that you just go to an convention and then your daughter just dies during a panel.
Oh like, my God. Well, thank God she didn't. But seriously,
I hope that she's okay. Like, I don't know what happened after, but it was scary. And I apologize if how I told it was comedic or funny, but that's just how I tell stories sometimes, because I also explain my own thought process in that moment, because my thought process half the time is stupid. And that's why I tell stories sometimes like that. But it was actually really scary. And then it was scary because there were other stuff actually also going on at the same exact time. And just the fact that all of us was just so quiet. Like, we were just like, okay, she had a seizure. And then we're like, oh, wait. Like, the whole panel just stopped. So that was probably, it's not a bad thing. It was just scary. So I don't know. What's your story?
My story.
I took it to a dark place.
Scary. My story is very depressing, actually.
Oh,
go through comedians is depressing. It probably was like my worst experience. It wasn't last year; it was the year before. I think I've said this to other people beforehand, but I decided to go to a convention on my own. I just thought, stuff it. I want to go. This is what I was going on about earlier, attending Greg Sipes' meditation panel. That was on the Sunday. The Saturday, I went for the whole weekend. This was for Supernova. This was the pop cultural kind of one. The Saturday was really good. I ended up meeting up with about 2 or 3 other people I had like talked to online. They lived in the same place I did in Adelaide. And I got to spend the whole day with them. There's actually a vlog somewhere on my channel, actually. And then I decided to go on the Sunday. And I think I was there. I think I got there like around 10 o'clock. And then I think I ended up leaving like around like 1. I don't know. I just really wasn't having fun. And I realized then that I didn't really like going to a convention on my own. I mean, I had a friend I was supposed to meet up with, but she didn't get back to me. And then, she was like all apologetic afterwards. And I'm just like, I really don't want to know right now. And then I just decided to go home. So that's my worst experience. And it's taught me I don't really want to go to a convention on my own again. I personally don't find the enjoyment in it. I was lucky Saturday that like I knew some people and that, but that was my not very good experience for me. But anyway, we're going to talk about all the worst and the depressing stuff. I think we'll move on to another question, because I noticed that Shoujo Thoughts is here. Hello, Shoujo Thoughts.
Hi.
And she's asked a whole bunch of questions, so I'm going to pick one, because I know you're going to Anime Expo, I believe, actually, Shoujo Thoughts. I think you're going to Anime Expo. Please let us know if you are, because I know you had been talking about it for a while. So I know you've got a few questions, so let's see. One of them is, can I expect that the exhibit hall booths will run out of merchandise by the final day? So you can answer this first, Shay.
It depends on what you're looking for, to be completely honest with you. And it depends on what booth you're talking, what booth you mean. To be honest, I haven't actually came across booths running out of merchandise unless it's something that is super like everyone wants. Like, it's just hard to get. And sometimes you can find the same stuff at multiple places. So my friends and I have gone and we found something that we like at one booth, and then we've gone to another booth and they have the exact same thing. And sometimes they have the exact same thing you want for a cheaper price. So kind of it's good to kind of shop around, because you can see like, okay, well, I'll come back and see if they have this. And then you might walk around the hall and then you might see it again somewhere else, and you can ask them what their price is for it. So you might be able to find it, much cheaper. As far as them running out of stuff, I've only seen places run out of stuff if it's like clothes. So like for me, the last at Fanime, I bought a pink skirt there, and the skirt that I bought was the last one that they had, and it was the first day of the convention. So I don't know if it's just something they didn't have a lot of, or if it's something that, a lot of people wanted, but I haven't heard of places really running out of stuff, to be honest with you. Or maybe that's just because I'm not looking for something specific that they're going to run out of. What about you?
So usually with terms of running out of like merchandise, if it's like, oh, hello, Drake. So glad you could make it. I see you in the chat. So as in terms of running out of merchandise, I would say this more leans towards like artist alley stuff that we're talking about, like people selling like their art prints and keychains. I've definitely at times I've gone back to a certain stall in the past, and they've run out of this particular like anything. For an example, was this girl that I finally got one eventually. One of the days I went, she ran out of these. She made these Sailor Moon notebooks. I tagged you in that, I remember, actually, Shay. I got they ran out of Sailor Jupiter ones, and then I had to go back the next day. This was on the Saturday, though. I had to go back on the Sunday and go, and she said to me, she quickly made one for me that evening, on the Saturday evening, and I went on the Sunday morning and I went and got one. And she said, oh, this was the only one I was going to make a last time, so I know you really wanted one, and I'm happy to have it now. But so artist alley stuff, people might run out of stuff, especially if it's like art prints and stuff. In terms of like in the main dealer's room, I've never seen any booths really run out of anything. One thing I will say agree with is definitely clothes. They only have so many sizes there, they will. And also I would say for like a few merchandise stalls do like these goodie bag things where it's like $10 or $20, and there's like all these little goodies in, like sweets or key rings, posters, whatever. And generally they'll run out of those. So I would say clothes and like goodie bag things. In terms of it's like figures, sometimes, they will run out maybe of figures, because they might only have like 3 of the same figure. Because I've talked to like people at like say their figure merchandise stalls. So, but in terms of like his anime and manga, I really wouldn't worry. Honestly, advice I give to anybody, it's common con knowledge, I would say, is like Sundays are the best day to go get stuff. Like usually, like when I've attended AvCon, between like 4 o'clock, because the con runs from 10 to 6. So between 4 and 6 o'clock is generally when prices start going down. They start smashing prices down. I've got like a manga for $1 before, $1. And it wasn't crappy titles they were getting rid of. These were newer titles. So definitely my advice, if you can restrain yourself for like maybe like the first day or 2 that you're at the convention, and wait until like the last day in like the very late afternoon, and then just go crazy with money. Seriously, that is always what I've done now. The first 3 years, I did not know that. I blew it all in like one day, like the first day. It's what happens when you have your first convention or first few, but afterwards I'm like, oh, look at all. I always wait till Sunday. So
yeah, I think another bit of advice too is if you do go to Artist Alley and let's say you do see something that you like, and let's say the artist does not have it or they are sold out, many times these artists have websites, and a lot of times they have cards there that you can actually pick up and you can actually order it from their site as well. So that's another fun thing too, because I've done that before where I've gone to places and I found something that I've liked that's at an artist's booth and they don't have it, but they'll have their business card out, or even if they don't have a business card out, they might have their information. I know one person, I snapped a picture of their information to keep track of so I could order it later on from their website. So that too, because a lot of them do advertise their actual online stores too. So that's another thing too. So even if they do sell out, don't worry too much if it's an artist alley, because a lot of times those artists, you can actually, go to their sites and actually order straight from them. And if it's in the, like Lita said, if it's in the actual exhibit hall, that's not artist alley, then that is something, they don't really run out there. One other thing I would suggest too, if they have it at the convention that you're going to, is swap meets. There's some places there at swap meets that you can actually go there and buy stuff for super cheap. And that's people who, like, fans that have items that they basically just want to sell. And a lot of times you can find some pretty cool stuff.
I'm jealous because we don't have that here.
It's not at every convention. I know it's at the convention that I go to, they have it. I don't know about every convention, but at Fanime, they have a swap meet.
Aussie ones won't have that. I'm sad. They need to follow the American convention example is what they need to do. Because seriously, I'll probably be there for hours, probably, knowing me. If I can find some rare, obscure anime, then I'm so there.
Yeah.
So another question Shoujo asks as well, relating to this, what we just answered before, is there usually a lot of merchandise from a variety of shows? And definitely, there is always a lot of variety from different shows. There's a bunch of older shows that I love. Like in the past, I've seen stuff related to like Escaflowne. I've seen the manga, like the old manga there, but I still need to collect all of the manga for that actually. So there is a mix of like newer anime stuff and older anime stuff, definitely. My answer to that is yes. So plenty of variety.
Yeah, in a way, yes and no. I feel like there is a lot of variety, but I also feel like in some years it depends on what's very popular as well.
Yeah.
So like, for example, like for the longest time, I know a lot of people were able to find a lot of Bleach stuff, a lot of Naruto stuff. But now, right. And now over the past year, I've seen it dwindle just a little bit. I think it's because both those animes have kind of ended. Bleach is ended, both the manga and the anime has kind of ended at this point. I see some Inuyasha stuff, but I don't really see a whole lot of Inuyasha stuff. So I think it just depends on what anime you're looking for. So that is one of the things that you need to think about too, is a specific anime. So like, for example, my first convention, I found a lot of Sailor Moon stuff because they were talking about a lot of Sailor Moon Crystal coming out, although it hadn't yet been released. But there was a lot of Sailor Moon merchandise. There's also a lot of obscure animes, but you can tell when an anime has gotten popular because you see a lot of it, a ton of it. I think one other thing I also do want to bring up just briefly, since we are on the subject of talking about, buying stuff in the dealer's hall, make sure that what you're buying is legit. Because there's a lot of vendors in there that will sell stuff that is not, like legit merchandise.
Yeah, bootleg, basically.
So basically it's bootleg. So you want to check the tags. You want to make sure that you know what insignias you're looking for on your items, because the last thing you want to do is buy something and then realize that it is a bootleg item. So for me, I'm a big person on checking tags. I check and see the vendors I'm looking for. I look at the plushies, especially because plushies are a dead giveaway if they're bootleg, because when you find a plushie that's bootleg, especially Pokemon ones, they just look weird. So like, you'll find I found like a Pikachu plushie before, like a Squirtle plushie, and it looks like a Pokemon that's not really supposed to be like a Squirtle. It's more like a Ditto who turned into a Squirtle but didn't get the face right. So you're kind of like, I know this is bootleg.
I've seen some pretty screwed up Pokemon plushies.
So weird. So just be very, very careful of that. If you aren't for sure what you're looking for, check out on like rightstuff.com and see what the tags are. I know like a lot of times with Right Stuff, it'll say, depending on the anime, it'll say like Great Eastern on there. So definitely check on there, check and see for like, just check the items that you're looking at buying, because you don't want to get something and find out that it's bootleg, because now a lot of these vendors, they don't offer refunds. So if you buy something and then you realize that you bought something that is bootleg, some of them will not take refunds and will not take it back. So that is something to be very careful of.
Yeah, suckers. Like, I never thought about checking for bootleg merch. You see, a lot of people don't. Typically, but like, if you're a collector like me, it's like, you know, a big must to always check all the if it's bootleg and stuff.
Yeah, but, for me, it's not because I'm a collector. For me, it's because of the fact that I want to support the industry any way I can, and not support someone putting money in their pocket and it's not going anywhere. I guess that's just me, but it's harder at a convention because these people obviously bought their merchandise from somewhere and now they're selling it here. So that is kind of a little bit more difficult. But I guess for me, bottom line, the reason why I want legit merchandise is because I've bought bootleg merchandise before and it didn't feel good knowing I bought something bootleg.
But yeah, bootleg people, not good. All right, so we have another question that I know someone will want us to answer, which is Matt in the Hat. He asks, what is the main essential you should have for going to a convention? Oh my, there's a lot of things that are essential to going to.
Right. I think it depends on the convention and how long you're staying and where, because if you're going to, because most of the conventions I've gone to, I've had to stay overnight in hotels. So the essentials is clothes, anything I would need going to a hotel, basically. But definitely I say if you're going to a convention for just one day, money is the biggest thing I can say to bring with you, because you're going to need it for, if you want to buy something, you're going to need it to eat. You're going to need it to buy, drinks. You're going to need it for that. Make sure you have your transportation all set up. If you're driving there or if you're taking public transportation, make sure you have an ID on you.
Transportation.
Right. Transportation. Please make sure you know because the last thing you want to do is get there and then, like, I don't want to say get lost, but like you get there and then your ride ditches you, or, you're supposed to be taking like a BART or something. If you try to, like, go to, like, I don't like, you're taking public transportation and you forget that your last bus to get home leaves at like 6:00 and you realize it's 5:50 and you're still at the convention, like, that kind of something you need to be know of. You also need to bring an ID with you, because most of the time when you're getting your badge, a lot of times they will ask you for ID. So make sure you have your ID with you. Especially
they don't ask for ID where I am.
They don't ask for they ask for it here. They definitely in the States
it'd be different.
Have to have your ID on you.
Yeah.
And especially if you're going to a convention that, if they do have those 16 and up panels and those 18 and up panels, then yes, they will ask you for ID, definitely. And you also need to have on you, some conventions do wristbands. If they tell you I know at SAC Anime they do them too.
We have actually, like, we get like the what's it called? What are they called? Lanyards. That's it, lanyards. We have one of those. We have a tag on the end of it. That's our pass for the whole weekend. We have to wear that the whole time. That's what we do here. Yeah,
and I saw someone in the chat had said, try not to eat at the con. It will be way more. I think it depends on where you eat at the con, and it depends on what convention you're at. Some conventions, they'll offer like snacks, not really like full course meals. So a lot of times, at least for me, my friends and I ate outside of the convention. We've eaten there at the convention. Like, my friends got takoyaki. They got the takoyaki. Yes, my friends had gotten that, and they found it. They've eaten that there. I've bought ramen there. I bought pocky. I bought snacks, like not like full course meals though. But please make sure that you eat while you're at the convention. Do not fall out. Please don't.
Yeah.
Shower. Please shower.
I don't know why this is a vital thing to even say. Like, shower, people. Like, why would it even be like?
Because people have. I think this is just a stereotype for people who are nerds or
Yeah.
dorks. It's a stereotype. I think that people do not shower, and I think I feel like they've came up with this because of the fact I'm sure they've had complaints from people like, hey, you need to talk to this person, they stink. And I'm sure that someone has said that.
Mostly like you're standing in line, you're sitting in a panel, it's like, whoo, that's a strong one.
Yes, and also be sure to sleep. Be sure to sleep.
Oh, you need sleep. I would say from bad advice, you don't have to get a lot of sleep, because seriously, if it comes around a convention, your sleep pattern is stuffed, basically. If you are so excited, mine was always stuffed, going to bed at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And then we had to get up for the con. I had to get up at 7 to get in. I had to get up at 7 then to get in my cosplay, blah, 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 blah. It's honestly, there's so many things that, you've got all these videos that you see people doing of convention survival, or the vital things to go to a con. I mean, they're fun videos and that, but at the end of the day, it comes down to like common sense.
Right. Common sense. Like, I feel like it's no different than if you were to go to Disneyland for the day. Like, if you're going to Disneyland or any amusement park, you take things that you take money with you. If the park allows you to bring in drinks or water, you bring in drinks and water. You dress appropriately. You do everything that you normally do. So at a con, the biggest thing to bring with you, of course, to me is money, because you're going to be spending it. But also you have to take into account where you're going for the con. Are you staying in a hotel? Are you driving there? Are you flying there? And of course, with driving or flying, the regular itinerary to take with you. Shower, eat, drink water, or drink soda, whichever, or drink alcohol, whatever you like, know, but just be sure to stay hydrated and don't act crazy at a con. I think that's also, please bring your common sense with you. That's what you need to bring with you. Bring your common sense. Do not leave that at home. Please.
Shay's very emphasizing this from experience. It may be different. Yes. Probably a lot of things you said. I mean, I'll just share some of the things I've learned over the years. Obviously, I always brought water with me. Bring it from home, people. Seriously, you'll save yourself a buck. In terms of money, try not to bring your cards with you. If you are staying like in a hotel or something, I always left mine in my hotel room. I did. I put it there, but they have a safe. Hotels have safes. I always put mine in there because I always take money out. Always have cash on you at a convention. I wouldn't care if I had to take $500 cash with me. I wouldn't take the whole lot with me, or on one of the days. I would take $100 with me for one of the days, and I'd take another 100 the next day. One thing also for a convention, save. If save up some money, because I've a couple of conventions I've gone to, I've realized that I'm very limited in money. So if you say you find out about a con and it's in 2 months' time, just save $5 to $10 here and there, whatever. And seriously, you'll build up a lot. It'll build up quickly, and then you won't have to worry about money. Honestly,
I think for me, I like the idea of not taking a card with you. For me, though, I tend to take both. But here's why I take both with me, because I'm strategic on where I spend them. So for me, I take out cash out of my bank and I take my card with me. I take my card with me to use when I go eat at food places that are outside of the con. So if my friends and I go to dinner or we go somewhere to eat, I will usually use my card to spend. And the only reason why I use my card there is because when I go into the dealer's hall or the artist alley, I will generally only use cash. And the only reason why I only use cash there is because I don't want to have to deal with, them, asking, do they take card, trying to figure out their card system. If they don't have card, I don't want to have to figure that out. Not only that, but with me taking cash with me and using it only in the dealer's hall, I know how much cash I've spent. And I know if I ever spend all of it, then I'm not using my card, and that's it. That's the only reason why for me I split them up and I use both.
And it seems over the years, a lot of people would only take cash from when I first started attending conventions. Now they take FPOS. particularly at like manga and anime stalls. So it's fine to take like your card with you and stuff. It's just like for me now, generally, I always just have cash on me generally. But
yeah,
yeah,
some places do take card. I will say some places do take card, but if you're someone who wants to be leery of or make sure of your spending habits, then only take cash because you'll know how much you've spent, especially if you're like, oh, I still have to eat, then you'll make sure that you don't spend all your money. Because if you only take a card with you, of course, you're just like, oh, I'm just going to keep using my card because I know how much money I have. And you look and you're just like, oh, Lord, I just spent $700. When did this happen? Because it'll add up eventually. So
one thing I think also to do with conventions is if the con schedule comes out beforehand, usually always does here. I'm sure it would do over there. You know, maybe look like the night before or like the day before and have an idea of what are the things that you want to go to. Like I even would just put a circle around what I wanted to attend, and depending on what you're not able to go to every single panel, every single thing that's happening at the convention. It just will not happen. So I just always circle around like the things that I want to attend to. And generally I've ended up like in the whole weekend, I think one year I attended like 5 things. But like every solo year, like I always attended the AMV competition panel where we watch everyone's AMVs and stuff. So just look at a schedule like beforehand to kind of get an idea who's going and stuff, because seriously, I've gone to a con before and I've not known what is going on, and we've gotten there really late. I hate getting to conventions late sometimes. That's another pet peeve I have. I like it depends. On the Sunday, sometimes I'll go there like around midday or something, but generally on the first day I like to get there like, you know, early, especially with lineups. Lineups. You're going to get people that are going to get there at the crack of dawn, basically. Like I've gone, you know, one of the years of AvCon, it's like 6 a.m. and I've gone out to get breakfast for me and my friends, and there's already people lining up at 6 a.m. The con doesn't open till like 10 a.m. I'm like, you people have no life. I'm like, I'm not that early. So in terms
my
of
friends, we don't do that. Yeah, we get to like midday.
Yeah.
And
that's cool. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, don't also, so for at least for the cons I've gone to, the dealer's hall on the first day opens like midday or like mid-afternoon. Do not stand in line for the dealer's hall. Do not do it.
No.
When it opens. Just do something else, and then once it's open and everyone's already gone in, then you can just walk on in. There's no point in standing in line. And another fun thing, not fun fact, but I think this might be helpful for anyone who is going to convention. And if you have an iPhone, I do not know if this is on Android. There's an app that I actually used called Guidebook. And I used this app when my first year going to SAC Anime. And you can use it for various other things, but a lot of times if you're at a convention and you search for the convention you're going to, it will pull up the guidebook and actually have the schedule for that convention all there conveniently on your phone. So you don't have to shuffle through the papers that they gave you or the booklet that they gave you. And if you find something that you really want to go to, you can actually set a, like, say you want to go to this, and it will remind you right before so that you can head there. So it's a very convenient app, but it's called Guidebook. And if you have an iPhone, I know it's on there. The only thing is not every convention is going to have their guidebook on there or have their schedule on there. I do know for SAC Anime they have it. I want to say for Anime Expo they do have it. I don't know about this year's Anime Expo, but they did have it last year. So definitely use that if you're going to Anime Expo. It's very convenient. You don't have to worry about trying to shuffle through any papers or anything like that, or you know, stuff like that, and trying to remember, you know, like, oh, I have to go to this panel. I remember what time it is, but I don't remember where it's at. I don't have my book with me. This is very, very helpful. So I hope that works for someone. Oh, yes. It looks like Sakura says, yep, a guidebook is the best, and it's on Android. So, yeah, from Sakura, it says it is on Android, and it is convenient if it's a specific.
Shoujo asks also, is it more convenient than the specific convention app if they have one?
I don't know. Honestly, all the conventions I've gone to, I've never known them to have an app.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah, just because of the fact, even though it's something that happens every year, I feel like it'd be kind of difficult, just because of the fact it's not something that happens, every week or every day. It's just for one specific weekend out of the entire year. So I can see how trying to find someone to update it would be difficult. Not only that, but most conventions are ran by a smaller group of people. So it's not like a huge business or corporation that runs.
Yeah, like
So
the one I attend, it's run by a small committee. It
yeah,
is.
same. It's run
So
by a committee or it's run by fans. And a lot of times you'll see with these conventions that they're open for volunteers. I know at Fanime they were asking for volunteers where like if you volunteered for like a couple hours or 4 hours, a lot of times it's like you've now paid off one, one day of your actual ticket of being there at the con. So that's also something that's anybody can look into. If you're going to a convention, you can look into volunteering as well. I don't know how much fun it is volunteering, but you can definitely do it.
Well, I've known people that have beforehand, and
yeah, same.
you usually end up getting an opportunity to actually help any of the. I think only certain people are picked though to help like be an assistant for the voice actors, for example, for like the entire weekend and stuff. I know a couple of people that always get to do that every year. And they rub it in my face. I'm like, well, I don't care. I'm like, fine. One thing I'll add on the end of this question is that this is regarding cosplay, because cosplay has become a lot more mainstream. I always, now when I got into cosplay, you always make sure to have like a little cosplay kit with you, because sometimes cosplays, especially if you made them on your own, I've made like 4 in the past, they've fallen apart, things have fallen off. Definitely like have what did I always take with me? I always took like pins, tape. Don't bring hot glue gun. I remember someone brought that with them once, and that was a big mistake. Remember, just like pins, anything like tape or anything along those lines that you think will be able to repair something quickly. That's definitely something I always tell everybody. Also, if you've got like a wig, a lot of my cosplays I've done in the past have always been extremely long wigs. So always have like a wig brush with you. Don't use an ordinary hairbrush because it will ruin your wig. It will ruin it. Get like you can get like these wig brushes specifically just for brushing wigs. So I always had one of those with me, and yeah. I think we've fully covered everything on that question, all the advice that we can give. There's probably more advice we could give, but I know we'll probably be here all day, but I think you'll be all set for when you go to Anime Expo Shoujo Thoughts. I think you'll be all set. There's never one essential thing for going to a con. There's so many. You can just look, like I said earlier, you can just look them on YouTube, and there's like all these videos about con survival, blah, blah, blah. It's just about being prepared. And also, remember to have fun. That's a key thing. Because some people can get very, very uptight and serious about conventions.
Yes.
And that's when I get a little like, you gotta lighten up just a little bit, otherwise they're not gonna want to know you.
Yes. So also be careful at conventions. Even though conventions are a lot of fun and you are around a lot of people that are into the same things that you are, please remember that you're around other people, and there might be some crazy people out there. There might be some crazy people there. So if you're ever there at a convention and you ever feel uncomfortable about someone who's around you, or someone who's talking to you, definitely don't be afraid to go to security or go to someone that you know or that you trust and let them know that something's going on. One of the biggest things, or one of the biggest signs I see at conventions all the times, is the sign that says cosplay is not consent. So if you are dressed as a character and someone is harassing you,
say like Yoko from Gurren Lagann, who's wearing the bikini and like short things.
Exactly. So if someone's ever harassing you in any kind of way, do not be afraid to tell someone. Everyone at a convention wants you to have fun. So definitely be sure to, still keep a lookout. Be very wary of your surroundings. A lot of these conventions end at night. Some of them go on all night. So if you are at a convention and your friends go somewhere, please go with your friends. do not go stay by yourself, just to be on the safe side, especially if you're
think it'd
walking
be
somewhere
okay
late
if
at
you're
night.
a panel and it's in the day. I mean, yeah,
Right.
of course, be careful.
Yes.
Also, one thing I will add to this list, because I think this is a very, very vital thing, especially if you're going with friends and they want to go to other things they do, is a charger. Get one of those like the portable mobile charger things, because seriously, it saved my ass so many times having one of those. Make sure to charge it up the night before, or if you're there for the whole weekend, make sure like towards the end of the day, if you go to the hotel room, wherever, make sure you like charge it up in case like your phone dies. My phone battery is terrible these days, so I'm always carrying one with me in general now. So buy a mobile phone charger thing. It will save you ass. It will save your ass.
Yes, so, definitely do that. Be sure you have phone chargers on you so that
is an essential. That is an essential.
Shoujo Thoughts asks, is it okay to be alone sometimes during the day though? Yes, that is fine. So if you are with your friends and you want to go to a panel that your friends necessarily don't want to go to, that's perfectly fine. If you want to go by yourself, just be sure to have your phone on you. You can keep in touch with them all the time, and let them know, see where they are once you're over. Once your panel is done with, it's okay to split up. My whole thing is just mostly at night or even during the day, even if you're walking back to your hotel by yourself, just be careful. Just like I said before, if you are by yourself, just be very, very watchful of your surroundings. So if you ever feel uncomfortable, once again, just be safe. But if it's during the day and you want to go to a panel and your friends don't necessarily want to go, it's definitely okay to go by yourself. Just be sure you guys have some things in order. Like, hey, I'll contact you once it's over with, where you guys going to be at. I know me and one of my friends at Fanime, we split up for a little bit. Well, we were 2 and 2, so I wasn't by myself, but it was me and her were together, and then her boyfriend, our other friend, they were there with each other, and they went to go do something else, and we went to another class or another panel, and we just got in touch with them after we were done and met up later. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think there's another question Shoujo asks as well. She's a good one to bring up. Will people want to take pictures if I'm in cosplay, or will be willing to let me take pictures of or with them? So,
yes.
Yeah.
If you're people would like to take, I'm going to say this. If your cosplay is very, very good, then yes, people will ask for a picture. One of the things to be sure of, if you want to take pictures with someone or of someone else's cosplay, just be sure to ask. Most cosplayers are very nice enough to say yes. I haven't heard a cosplayer ever say no to taking a picture unless they're on their way somewhere. Or they're busy or something of that matter, or if they're in a situation where they can't take a picture. But don't just take a picture of someone, just ask if it's okay. That's the only thing. Yeah, just ask. Most people don't say no. They're nice enough to say yes.
I've been rejected multiple times. Yes, I have actually. Like 5 times. That's because I found that one was actually a group of Sailor Scout girls. They weren't busy or anything, and they just said no. They were a bit quite snobby. So just kind of be aware also, like with people in the cosplay community, some are quite nasty, some are snobby. Yes. So you have to be a bit mindful of that. But look, seriously, mostly general at convention, it would be really hard for someone to say no. Most of the time they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, but seriously, don't overthink about it. Just don't overthink that somebody's going to say no. Just up and ask them. And sometimes it's a little bit, it's a bit awkward if you're like a shy person. And I remember it took a lot of courage for my old best friend at the time to even go up to somebody and ask them to have a picture with them. Especially she wanted to have a picture with this person that was Princess Serenity cosplaying as her. And I said, look, just go up and do it. And the first time you do it, after that, it just becomes like natural, honestly. So that's only for like a really nervous person. I was like that as well. And as in terms of if people come to ask for a picture, if your cosplay is like really good, sometimes it's like that. And then I found at other times where I've not thought my cosplay was anything special, people have come up to me like anyway, especially it depends what you're cosplaying from and what series. Seriously, let's for an example, I've done Ursa Scarlet from Fairy Tale before, and seriously, that, I think the first day of the convention, I was like, I couldn't breathe for the whole day because I constantly had people coming up to me all the time. And I knew that I was doing a character that, yeah, probably a lot of people would come and ask for a photo and stuff, but I was not anticipating a whole day of stopping and then I can move and then stop again. You're going to experience that. You want to go somewhere and then somebody will ask for a photo at the wrong time. Yeah. But you'll just be like, yeah, that's so good. But yeah, just have fun with it. Don't overthink it.
And be careful of creepers taking your picture, dude.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes there could be creepy people that walk around with cameras and they'll take your picture, but a lot of times they're very creepy about it. So just be okay. Just, and if someone tries to take your picture, but they at the same time are wanting to lead you somewhere where there's no people around to take your picture, say no. Just run away.
Yeah. You say Lita will come sort them out. Just say that. Because, I've told someone to bugger off plenty of times. So,
see, yeah. I've never cosplayed before, so I'm thinking about doing my first cosplay.
I'm excited.
It's daunting. I have three. I have three possible choices.
What are they? Now.
Well, one of them would be Storm from X-Men.
Yes. Really, oh my God, you will pull her off.
The only reason why I'm afraid of doing Storm from X-Men isn't because of the fact it's Storm. It's because of the fact that I want to do it at the next convention that I go to, which is the end of August, and it's probably going to be hot. Oh, yeah. And I'm sure I will be boiling in the outfit that Storm actually wears, which is other people. Right. I'm going to be hot. The other one is Sailor Mars. I kind of want to do Sailor Mars.
Ooh, Sailor Mars. No Sailor Moon.
Right, no Sailor Moon, Sailor Mars. And then number 3 would possibly even be Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman's cosplay is kind of cool. So I kind of want to do Wonder Woman.
I love it.
So those are the 3 that I have so far. I haven't decided, but I'm more so leaning towards Storm, only because of the fact that whenever I've gone to conventions, at least for me, I have not really seen anyone cosplay as Storm. Maybe it's just me, but I myself haven't seen many people.
Yeah, I think I found one thing daunting with cosplay just anyway, that a lot of people wear those contact lenses to do like the eye color of whatever character they're doing. And I've had in the past, like, people say, why haven't you got like green eyes if you're doing the Scarlet? I don't really care. I don't want to put that stuff in my eyes.
Right. That's the same for me. I don't want to because Storm normally has brown eyes, so I wouldn't have to change my eye color unless like I'm trying to like channel her powers. Then yes, her eyes are white. But
eyes are white. It's kind of I've seen people do Storm cosplays before with the white contact lenses, and it's kind of a little freaky. I mean, like,
I don't really want to. I want to do a more subdued Storm, and if I decide to do Storm, I want to do Storm with long hair, not the short hair.
Yes, long hair.
I want to do the long hair Storm. The only thing is, though, long hair Storm's outfits are different than when she's in short hair. I like the outfit short hair Storm wears, but I don't like the one that she wears with long hair, so I might just mix it up and wear the short hair outfit with long hair. I don't care. That's what I might do.
Don't worry about like, if you feel like you got to wear contact lenses, you got to be really careful with like buying them from like China and stuff. Even if there's legit, even if there's like legit for like contact, like that, even if there's like, companies that are like legitly selling, the contact lenses and stuff. They can really stuff up your eyes, especially they can be quite irritating. Depends if you're really, really used to it. Like if you wear them on a daily basis, like I know some YouTubers wear them on a daily basis. They can do what they want, but it will stuff up your eyes. But
it can if you're allergic.
If you can put up with it, put up with it. So
like, fun fact, this is not anime related, but it relates to contact lenses. If you decide to wear them. Fun fact is Daniel Radcliffe, who of course played Harry Potter in the Harry Potter films, a lot of people gave them a lot of flack with the fact that Harry Potter in the films has blue eyes and does not have green eyes, while in the books is very specified that Harry has green eyes. In the ending scene of the very first movie, it looks like Daniel Radcliffe, Harry, is crying and his eyes are red. The reason why his eyes are red is because they had him wear contact lenses, and in the final scene, you can see that his eyes are actually green. But they realized that he was actually allergic to the contact lenses, which is why they did not have him wear them for the rest of the film. So that's one thing you got to be careful of. If you do wear contact lenses, you might be allergic to them. So be careful, like Lita said, where you get them. If they don't come from an eye doctor and your eye doctor didn't give them to you, do not wear them. That's just me. That's for me.
But yeah, but we could, well, maybe we'd have to do a podcast sometime on cosplay, all the little things, because I've, you know, from years of doing it, I'm not saying I'm an expert. You do pick up a few things. So if anybody would like us to do a podcast on cosplay alone, please let us know.
At least please give me a chance to cosplay before we do that episode, because I would have no input.
Maybe we're going to around September, because you said, your convention's not until August. So
right. So I still need to get stuff together. I still got to buy a wig, figure out the outfit. If I want to buy a cosplay outfit, I probably cannot make one because I'm not that artistic.
I'm not that artistic either. I failed miserably the first 3 or 4 ones I made. So, it's all in the name of fun. Just make sure you have fun. That's like the main thing. Seriously, that can be forgotten about a lot. It can. It's very irritating. It's very irritating.
And take lots of pictures. And the thing is, though, don't worry about trying to get so much on camera. This is just, I know I'm a YouTuber. I know I did a vlog about my time at Fanime. But even in my vlog, I had said that I didn't film a whole lot because I was definitely living in the moment. So don't always be behind your phone, behind your screen, taking a lot of pictures or Snapchats or Instagrams or whatever it is you're doing. Live in the moment, because there's nothing like going, especially if it's your first convention, there's nothing like going to your first convention and having so much fun and just being there with your friends, seeing the things you want to see, buying the things you want to buy. So live in the moment.
I got to give people props who are like, who like vlog their experience at the conventions and stuff. Like I've done it like 2 or 3 times, but probably from now I probably wouldn't do it, because all you'll be worrying about is, oh my god, I haven't vlogged. That's what you'll be worrying about, and you seriously don't want that in the back of your head. I mean, seriously, you really don't want that. I mean, a lot of people I know that do vlog at conventions, they end up doing like a video talking about the experience and putting up pictures and stuff. That I find that would be better. But seriously, vlogging's not all it's cracked up to be at times.
It's not. It's so weird.
It can be really weird.
Because I literally it feels weird because you're talking, you're not talking to yourself, because you're talking to an audience, but you're talking to an audience that's not talking to you back and won't yet see this footage. So it feels weird, and then people are looking at you. But there was a girl that was there at the convention that was live streaming via her Twitch channel. And that was cool to watch, because she was just she was using her phone. She had like a selfie stick. It was crazy. But vlogging is fun. I liked it, but it is very strange because you realize how crazy you kind of look, because all people see is a camera and you talking, but they don't understand what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the norm a lot. It's kind of the norm a lot that you'll see a lot more at convention stuff. I dare say at Anime Expo, you're going to see a whole bunch of people doing it, definitely. So, I know you're going Shoujo Thoughts, so you'll see a whole bunch of people doing it. You will.
Yeah, just go have fun. Don't be worried.
Yeah, just take all the pictures. Yeah, that's why, again, a charger is very, very important. I actually don't always rely on my phone to take pictures. I also take a digital camera with me as well all the time, because seriously, I've taken that digital camera with me and it's always saved my ass again. But yeah, so I feel like that's all the advice we can give. I feel like that's all the advice.
I think one other piece of advice is don't try and do everything. You'll just drive yourself crazy. Honestly, just go with the flow a little bit. Like if there's panels you specifically want to go to, then yes, definitely go. But don't feel like you have to plan out your entire day from morning to sunset. If there's periods of time where you and your friends just want to hang out, then do it. I know there's periods of time where my friends and I at Fanime literally just kicked it or just hung out in the game room and played Uno. And that was fun and just played games. And that was interesting to do. So don't feel like you have to literally plan out your entire schedule because you'll just drive yourself nuts if you do that.
It's so hard to pick though. Well, again, like I said earlier, just pick the things that you really, really want to attend. Like I'm sure like if Shoujo, I'm sure if I would say like a Yuri on Ice panel at Anime Expo, I know you would be there within seconds because I know how much you love it right now. So that would be like a number one. So say, you know, say if somebody was going to do like a panel on like 90s anime or something, that would be the first one I'd like pick, you know. It's about your interests as well. Like what are your interests?
Like my interests are more so with the voice actors. So if any voice actors that I really know and enjoy are going to be at a convention, then I will go to almost every panel that they'll be in so that I can hear them talk and see them and learn their experiences. That's what I like. So yeah, like Lita's point, you know, just look and see what your interests are in the panels and just go, and also read what the panels are about, because sometimes you'll see the title and it might be something completely different. So yeah, also read what the panel's about.
Yeah. So, but look, if anyone else has any more questions they would like to ask us, please feel free to do so. This is making me want to go to convention now, talking about all of this now.
Right?
Yes. I know I've still got a vital decision to make if I would like to go to next month's one. People have asked me in the past to like vlog and stuff at conventions. I'm like, nah, man, I don't really want to vlog. I really feel like it. And Jared's like, yeah, if you can look at the schedule ahead of time, yeah, like I said, that was what I was saying earlier. Yeah, figure out what you want and stuff. Definitely.
Yeah, I always did the night before, depending on when I went or whenever you go. So I went for SAC Anime. I got there on a Thursday. The convention started on a Friday. So I went to kind of like day 0. And if you're able to go to day 0 and just pick up your badge, they give you everything. So it's up to you. It depends on what they have online. So if they have the schedule online, take a look. But some cons don't give it to you. Are the 18 and plus ones scary? No. They just have more adult content.
We don't have any 18 plus ones here. They don't really restrict them here. It's very different.
In the States, there are 18 and plus ones, and a lot of times,
I wish they would.
A lot of times, it's just more adult content, and it just depends on what it's about. It's mostly, I've seen some voice actors do 18 and up panels, and when they do 18 and up panels, though, you have to remember you cannot film in there. They will not let you film in 18 and up panels because they're afraid of it going on YouTube. But at 18 and up panels, if it's a voice actor talking, they're a little bit more like candid with them explaining stuff, and they're not censoring themselves, which is cool, which is fine. So it really depends. The same for the 16 and up panels. But they're not scary. But if it is an 18 up panel and you are uncomfortable with the nature of what it's about, then either a couple of things is either number one, don't go, or if you are in one and you realize that you're not comfortable with the subject matter, you can definitely leave. They don't stop anyone from the panel.
I want to experience that. I go to the 18 plus ones. Of course I would. Another question, have you ever made a panel?
No.
No, I would love
I have
to,
not made a panel.
I think my nerves would probably get the better of me. I'm not sure what I would actually do it on. Probably would be on obscure, unknown anime, honestly. It probably
I don't know what I would do. I feel like the only way I would...
I would turn it into like maybe an obscure anime trivia kind of thing where people would really, really have to like guess. They would. That would be kind of fun. That would be that's a panel idea I've always had for like a long time. But I wouldn't be that confident in front of
I think the only way I would be able to make a panel is if I ever went to a convention as a guest and then had to hold a panel.
Yeah,
that's the only way I think that I would be able to do it.
It's really a tedious process actually to host a panel. It's
you have to fill out an
tedious.
application. You have to. There's a lot of stuff that's involved.
You have to get accepted. I've got like a group of friends. They're known as a group of people I know. They're known as the Dub Talk podcast, and they're trying to get their panel accepted at the moment. But the thing is, you have to be a member. I think it's for a convention in August in Texas. You have to be a member of the actual convention to vote for it, and like that kind of sucks. You can't really vote for free, and I'm like, I would vote for you guys. So it can get like a little bit tedious, that process. Bit tedious.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to finish on a final note is actually what's been like a best moment for you at a convention, like a favorite moment that you can remember. What about for you, Shay?
I think my favorite moment is when I went to SAC Anime. It was my first year going. I went for my 25th birthday. Some of you guys know this, not the story, but some of you guys know I did that. And I had taken with me my mom and two of my friends whom my mom included, didn't know anything about anime. They knew I liked it, but they didn't really understand it. So to be able to take them and have them experience that with me was fun. But my favorite moment was because we went for my birthday. I wanted to really meet my favorite voice actors. And my favorite voice actors that were there that year was Johnny Young Bosch, who plays Ichigo in Bleach and was also the Black and the Green Power Ranger. Travis Willingham, who was Roy Mustang in Fullmetal Alchemist. Laura Bailey was there, voice of Trunks in Dragon Ball Z, as well as Lust and FMA. And I really wanted to meet them. And so the lines were super long. So I was able to go through for Johnny Young Bosch, and because I got in his line first. But the lines for Travis and Laura at that point were closed because there were so many people trying to meet them. And I really wanted to meet them. I really wanted their autograph. And my friends actually put their money together, which, not like they didn't have a lot, but they basically halved it, and they let me go. They paid for me to go through the fast pass lane of their line so I could get to meet both of them. And I got a chance to meet Johnny Young Bosch, Travis Willingham, and Laura Bailey, and got a picture with all three of them. Well, individually, so 3 separate pictures. But I got their pictures and I got their autographs. So that to me was probably one of my favorite moments, not only because I got to meet them, but because my friends saw how excited I was to be there, that they chipped in to do something that wonderful for me. So that is probably one of my best moments at a convention.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mine's that's probably my favorite.
But but I've got loads of great moments, especially the end of con antics towards the closing ceremony. Oh, I have so many of those. Let's see. One of my favorite moments I have is when I think it was in 2013, 2014. I cosplayed as Cardcaptor Sakura, and I was walking around in the exhibit hall with my friends, and I came across a Sharon cosplayer, and he came up to me, and he was writing on a board because he was deaf, like one of those whiteboard things, and he wrote on there. He wrote on there one of the you are the best Cardcaptor Sakura cosplayer I've seen all day. I was like, that I was like, that is so sweet. And I got a photo with him and everything. And then later on, we were sitting down having some lunch. And then he came over again and he said, "You have been my favorite cosplayer to see all day. You are so super nice." And I had to keep responding, on the whiteboard and everything. And it was just so nice. It was just so really, really friendly. And that was a really good moment for me. That was. Aww. I having disability myself, I did instantly know that he was deaf. It's just his enthusiasm was very infectious. It was, of his approach, and of just like what he said and everything. It was like the nicest thing I'd heard like all day, honestly. So that's a really good memory for me, and I still actually talk to this person now on the odd occasion. So again, I actually ended up meeting them at another convention I didn't think I would. And he says he goes to I got talking with him, and he said he goes to a lot of cons on his own, but he never lets that affect his mood. He doesn't. And I felt my heart kind of sink a little. I was like, I don't like going to a con on my own, but this dude, he does it. He goes to a lot of them. I just like, oh wow, he was really inspiring. It was inspiring. So it was like one of those inspiring moments. It was. So that's one of my favorite moments, going to a convention.
Yeah.
And now now we have to go all, oh no. But okay, Jira asked another question. This will be the last question we answer. Did you ever get any cool freebies from a panel or vendor floor? Yes. Nope. Yep. I got some freebies. What did I get? I think I got the first 2 volumes of the anime Ruby, which people keep classing as not a anime. I got those when I was in a panel. We had to answer a certain question. We had to give a funny story that happened to us. My story was the best, apparently, so I won the first 2 volumes of Ruby on DVD. So that was really cool. Any other freebies that I get? I think that was during a Hanabi panel. Hanabi is like a local distributor here in Australia that's kind of like Sentai Filmworks kind of, and they license different animes, and that was the panel I won the DVDs and stuff. So I've won some other freebies in the past. So, but yeah, if you go to like any Viz Media panels, I'm sure you have over there. Anything like that, any especially like Viz Media panel, any announcements they do, if it's like a Sentai Filmworks announcements, I know they always give out like freebies. You got to like tell a funny story, you got to answer a trivia question, whatever it is. Definitely attend any of those because they end up being really, really fun. They end up being really fun. So the Hanabi panel I went to was really good. It was. Shay, you should win some freebies.
I got Pocky.
You got Pocky. See, Pocky, the old.
I don't know if that's like, I got it in my bag. Like when you get your badge and stuff, a lot of times they give you like some free posters and stuff. And inside my bag there was Pocky. I liked Pocky, but they gave me the green tea flavored, which is not my favorite. So I don't know if that's really a freebie. Like it's free, but I didn't eat it.
How can you not eat it? If it was strawberry, I would have devoured it probably. But then again, I could easily get Pocky from up the road now, basically.
My favorite's chocolate. The chocolate Pocky is my favorite, and I also like the chocolate sea salt one is probably also my favorite.
Ooh,
I like those two. And the almond one is actually pretty good. So
I want to try the matcha one. Green tea one sounds good.
I wasn't a fan. I'm not a fan of like green tea flavored stuff. Like, scratch that. I like the green tea flavored, the matcha flavored Kit Kats. Those are actually really good.
Ooh, I've not had those. Oh, okay.
So I just didn't eat it. I just let it sit in my bag.
I've actually had a green tea lava cake once. That was epic. That was so good. It was. I like so chocolate. Good. That really intenseful matcha flavor was like just sprouting through in my mouth. I'm like, whoa, this is like really, really intense sweetness. But matcha's got a very mild kind of flavor, but this was just like explosion in my mouth. It was great. I never heard of I like chocolate lava cakes, but I never heard of a matcha lava cake, and I was like, oh, okay. Jira's like, I got a GPX bag and a free $10 gift card from Best Buy. Oh, that was pretty good. I've never gotten a voucher. You still got that voucher? You want to give it to me?
Right?
That would be great. Do some more vouchers in these little goodie bag things. That would be really, really good. That would. But all right, guys. Well, we are going to wrap up for this podcast because I know we've been going for at least a couple of hours. But look, I hope you enjoyed our podcast for today, talking about conventions. Maybe we'll have another one talking about like con stories. You used it right away, Jiro, the gift card. How dare you, Jiro? But look, I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to follow us on our social media. All the links are down below. If you want to keep up to date with when we are going to do a podcast, follow us on our Twitter at Senshi and Girls. It's right down below. And again, not sure when we're going to do the next one. Hopefully, it won't be 3 weeks. I promise you guys. And yeah, we always announce on our Twitter as well what the next announcement or topic will be. It's always going to be a mystery with us guys. I think you guys really know that now. And yeah, and we just want to thank the people that are subscribed to our channel at 39 subscribers. I just wanted to give a thank you because we are a small little podcast and it means a lot. It does mean a lot. So just wanted to give a thank you. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And as Senshi and Girls, we are out.
Bye.
Bye.